gig workers. They often get called things like lazy, unintelligent, entitled, and skillless, just to name a few. In this docuseries, we talk to the people who are a part of a new and kind of confusing to some way of making a living in today's society. We will get to know what career field they were previously in and what drove them into entering the gig economy. You will get an inside look into the real people and not just a name and a picture on a phone screen. Welcome to our appealing lives. Today's episode is featuring Lavaras, aka GigLife. Let's hear about his experience in the gig economy. What type of work did you do before you did gig work?
I did a lot of work. Immediately before gig work, I was at a call center for a big tech company. I won't mention them because I don't know if they're going to come after me. But it was a big tech company, and I started out level 1 phone support, and I got elevated to level 2. And I was there for about 5 years, and it was a fun job. The company, I won't speak ill on them because they took care of the employees very well. And the benefits is one thing I really miss, the health, dental, and all that stuff. You pretty much pay absolutely nothing out of pocket to go get treatment. But it just, I think I mentioned in one of my videos, it's a very soul-sucking job because no one's calling to say how you doing. No one's calling to say, oh, this product is great. Everybody's calling because they have a problem. And, I get it. That's what you're supposed to be there for. You're supposed to help them out. But after a while, it just beats you down. And so that's what I was doing immediately before I started getting into the gig work. And before that, I was a retail manager at Office Depot. I think it's Office Depot, Office Max. I was there for like 12 years. I did every area in that store that you can think of. I started as a cashier, moved to technology, managed technology, moved to the copy and print center, managed that. I did furniture, everything. Went to other stores, helped them build up their sales. And so I did a lot. I did a lot. Doing that.
Wow.
And before that, I worked at a grocery store. So that's why I like to shop, because I'm familiar with the grocery stores.
What led you into getting into the gig economy?
Well, at that tech company, make sure I don't mention it. At the tech company, their policy changed. We handled some pretty sensitive accounts. And at that time, I had lost 2 very important people in my life. My aunt passed away toward the end of the year around the holidays. And then the following year, my grandmother passed away. So I was just and the policies that you have to be on your P's and Q's, but I was just kind of checked out. And even still, before all that happened, I was mentioned to hey, these phones are it's a lot for me to manage. Can I go down to chat support? So I don't have to hear people yelling at me all day. And instead of just doing that, they just said, hey, well, let's go get you into some counseling. Let's go, get you checked into therapy, which was cool. They paid for everything. And I did learn a lot from going to counseling. So I do recommend if anybody's going through some mental issues, go get help. Don't try to just, fight it yourself. There's people out there, professionals that can actually help you. And they did help, but it's only so much that you can do when you're still in the same environment. Fire's hot, don't touch it. You keep going back into the fire. So after a while, I ended up getting fired from there because the policies that they had that we were supposed to handle these accounts, because they were dealing with a lot of scam that was going on. I did not follow the new procedures because if I was a person and I was looking at how my account was being manipulated, not only by that company, but the scammers, it would look like you had a security breach, right? So that's why they changed it. I wasn't reading anything. I was like, this fuck it. If y'all not gonna let me better myself or protect myself by just stepping down. They were like, whoa, if you step down, you're going to lose pay. I don't want to lose this, So, yeah, dude, they let me go. They fired me. So I was fired it was the beginning of 2019, actually. And so I had some money saved up. So I told myself, the next thing I do is going to be something that I've never done before. I didn't want to go back to the grocery store because I did that for 3 years out of high school. Didn't want to go back to retail office supply because I was there for 12 years. And I didn't want to do any more phone support. I was there for 5 years. So I said, whatever it is going to be completely different. So during that summer, I collected my unemployment and I was ordering a lot. UberEats was the only thing I was ordering. And you know how they say your devices listen to you, I guess. And I never had UberEats videos show up on my YouTube because I'm always doing crafts, painting. I was getting those kind of videos, and all of a sudden YouTube people started showing up talking about Uber Eats. I thought they were just infomercial people. And Sarah Elizabeth was one of the first people I saw. Another person named Nubian Queen, she was another person I saw. And later on down the line, when I was looking for other apps, UDM popped up. So I started watching Sarah quite often. She was, I'm going to go do UberEats, and I made some money. I was like, wait, she's actually working. She's one of the people who brings the food to me. I said, that's interesting. I didn't really think of it. I would come home every day from like running around, just watch her videos, not even thinking about it. And as the unemployment starts to run out, you gotta start figuring out what you're gonna do for money. So I was like, let me go out here and just try to do a few of these runs and see what happens. So I think it was like actually September. It was September 2019. I did my first Uber run. It was $5. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I just made $5 in the app. And I was kind of hooked after that. And so as the months went on, I was doing that, but I was noticing I wasn't making a lot of money compared to the people in my Facebook group. They were like, man, I just made $200, I made $300. But they were also saying they were working multiple apps. And me, I was still kind of like, I guess I call it kind of like the W-2 mindset. I was trying to be loyal to the company that I was working for. Like when I worked at Office Depot, I didn't go shop at Office Max or Staples. You get what I mean? So I was like, I'm not going to do Grubhub. I'm not going to do DoorDash. Like, that's crazy. But that's what everybody else was doing. They had them all stacked. I was like, maybe I should. So my mom, surprisingly, she told me about Instacart. And I was like, grocery shop. It's like, yeah, I heard like they can go in there and grocery shop and you make money. But Dimples on Demand, I'm not sure if you heard of her channel.
Yes.
And she mentioned Ship to me. So I didn't want to listen to my mom. I said, I'm going to go do Ship. And then so I was like, I'm going to have Uber Eats and Ship. I won't need Instacart. I won't need anybody else. So I started doing Shipt. And I did Ship till November. It was like maybe 3 months, and got deactivated from them. And which was it was a bad thing, but it was a good lesson. And nobody knows why you get deactivated, but from what people told me, it's because I only worked the promo queue. If you constantly work that queue, you are at risk of deactivation, which is crazy to me too, because why would you put it there if you don't want us to work the orders? Getting deactivated for Ship taught me that I need more apps. And that's when I went on that quest to just find every app I possibly can. That's when UDM came into play because he had some videos on Point Pickup. And kind of the rest is history a little bit after that.
Wow. That's amazing, man. Well, that was my next question, was what apps do you primarily use? But yeah, what apps do you primarily use?
Right now, and actually just this past week, I've only been doing Uber Eats and Instacart. Surprisingly, they've picked up a little bit down here. And maybe they have been good, and I've just been ignoring them because I've been doing other things, and I've just been anti-Instacart, especially when Corner Shop came into play. That's one app that I missed more than any app that I can ever think of. They pay so well. But in my arsenal, I do have Uber Eats, Instacart's there. I have Shipt again. I was able to get back on there. Only done one order. It's bad here, so I haven't done anything else. So that was kind of a waste of tears trying to get back on there. I got Grubhub, I got DoorDash as of the beginning of this year. I do have Roadie, and I have Point Pickup. Wow.
Well, I was always envious of Corner Shop. When I used to watch your videos, I was like, man, why is it not here? Oh my goodness. I considered moving to Texas for it, man. What is your plans after gig work? Or do you plan on staying in the gig economy?
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, I would love I guess the main reason, the kind of answer to go kind of circle back to your first question, the main reason why I do this and not just go get another like 9 to 5, which that's not out of the possibility. I think some people think when we make these videos, we're just no 9 to 5. I mean, but I think at the end of the day, if you need money, you'll do what you have to do to get it, So when I hear people, like when I read comments and I hear videos and talk about, no, this is all I can do, I challenge people to say like, well, if they deactivated you tomorrow and this is the only app you were working, what are you going to do? You going to sit there and let everything you work for crumble around you, or are you going to go try to find something to do? So for me, to answer that question, I guess come back to it. The reason why I started doing this is I wanted the flexibility because I wanted to paint and create. And sometimes when you wake up, you're like, today is the day I want to paint. Oh wait, no, I got to be at work at 9. So you go to work, you come home, you're exhausted. All you're going to want to do is sleep. So that window's passed. So to be able to wake up and be able to move my days around, or just do the morning, do the night, or whatever, that's what's been the reason that's kept me here. So trying to get my creative, I guess, endeavors off the ground, become like a creative painter, and selling those types of works is what I've really been starting to focus on this year. When I first did my first video, which was 2020, I sacrificed my art stuff. I just said, I'm gonna put that on the back burner, go head first into making this channel, and getting it up and running and see what I can make from there. Because honestly, all I was hoping for was like an extra $200 a month.
Right.
Maybe an extra day off from going out there doing it. I'm like, okay, so normally I would get my work 5 days, take 2 days off. So I would have 3 days. 1 day would be to rest. The other 2 days would be to paint and work on that. So that's why I stay here. But the future, I don't know. I don't see why I wouldn't still do it if I could still make money from it. I'll be 4 years into doing this, and some people don't even last that long on a regular job. So as long as it's legal and I can support myself, I don't see why I wouldn't still be doing it.
Right. That's exactly how I feel. I like it. I like the flexibility of it. So I really don't understand why people say that, but
I think it's levels to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and I think one thing I try to put through in my videos and when I do interviews like this or talk to people outside of like my space is food delivery is not the only gig out there. And I feel like that's just the one that we glorified in this part of the community. And it seems like the people in the community won't go outside and think. I mean, an artist, that's a gig. Like you don't get dental, medical for painting. Even day traders, the stock market is not going to be like, hey, you didn't show up and trade today. Like they don't care. It's all up to you. So people have to understand there's more to do than just food delivery, but it's all gig work. So when some people ask me, are you still going to be doing gig work? I might not be doing food delivery, but I'll probably be doing something, making money my own way.
Right. I'm so glad you said that. How do you feel when people say get a real job?
In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, in the very beginning, when I didn't know what I was doing and, the money was just kind of like sparse, I was like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I should get a real job. But then, as the world changed in 2020 and a lot of people who had those real jobs, I saw them out there with us delivering food, struggling, asking us, how do we do? That's why the whole YouTube, GigTube thing exploded. Because there were so many people who was trying to find just a quick way to make money. And it was respectable back then. People, I have so many like, thank you for risking your life for going out there and getting this for us. And now the things have kind of turned back around. We're like public enemy number one again. Get a real job. You guys have no skill. A monkey can do it. And I was like, well, there's a whole lot of monkeys doing it during 2021 when they come to that mortgage, So, yeah. So back then it did, when I first started, it did strike. But now I'm just like, dude, I'm just making my money. And I can never understand how somebody else's life choices, legal life choices, impact you that way to where you respond that negatively. You get what I mean? We're not out here selling drugs. I'm not murdering anybody. I'm just out here delivering food and servicing y'all. So what's the problem? What's the problem? And even TikTok, that's one thing I will say about that app, has brought to light, there's a lot of people who have regular jobs that are still struggling just like we are. So depending on what you're doing, we're all kind of in the same boat at this point.
You're right. I was watching a TikTok the other day, and this lady was saying how she makes like $100,000 a year, and she's still struggling. She can't afford it. What advice would you give to somebody joining the gig economy?
Advice like where apps to work, or just like how to
just overall, like mentality, what apps to work, just any advice you could think of.
There's a lot of things I could say. Overall, which is what I had to come to terms with myself, and every day I still have to remind myself, you have to know why you're doing this. Because I feel like in 2020, a lot of people maybe saw, all the videos and thought that, I can just go out there and do this. And then found out very easy, and found out very hard that it's not as easy as an 8-minute or a 12-minute video can make it sound. And I always found that strange that people would think that, because that's not how I think. I remember when I first saw Sarah and I first saw Newbie Clean, my thought process was, yeah, I can make money, but I don't know how much money I can make. You get me? For one, I'm not where they live. I'm not going to get the same orders they got in that video. So why would I think that I'm going to go out and make exactly that? Two, because another guy asked me this, because it goes into this question. Another person asked me in one of my comment section. It's like, you seem to hustle hard, or you said you have like a hard hustling mentality, something you said like that. But you don't seem to make all the money a lot of these other people are making. Are they? Is that real, or are they just full of BS? And I laughed for a long time because I was just thinking about that again. I was like, I was like, when I wrote it back, I was like, whether or not they're making the money they said they're making the video, it doesn't move your bank account one way or the other. Why do you go out there and do this? And I told him, I hustle as hard as I need to hustle for what I need. You know, some people, they have a mortgage, you know, they have multiple cars, they have a whole family. They need a little bit more than just maybe $150 a day, you know?
Right.
They have to go a little harder. He was like, oh yeah. I said, when you watch these videos, because that's how I watched them. I said, you just watch them for entertainment and the possibility of what you can make. Because when the Instacart thing was hot, I wasn't one of those people who were sleeping in Costco's parking lot. So if I'm watching one of those people who are sleeping in Costco's parking lot and then working to 10, how am I expecting to make $300 to $400? I'm leaving the house at 2 and leaving, go and come back home at 9. You can get a crazy tip, maybe, but that's not always going to be the reality. So know why you're doing it. Do not compare yourself to nobody else. Be open to I won't say training, but be open to like suggestions of what people tell you, like maybe you should try this, and then see if that works for you, because it could be working for them, but that could just not be your mindset. Because like this person over here is comfortable taking 5 cases of water every order. Those crazy orders we see, like I want to take all that water. This person's doing that, so he's making $500, but his back and his car is all jacked up. So do you want to do that? So those are the things I would say for somebody who's willing to do this. And most importantly, I think I said this around the time Instacart was like being attacked, going on its downfall. If it's not working for you anymore, leave. Find something else to do. I feel like so many people, but it's addicting, it's fun, and it can be hard to walk away from it. But if you're not making the money, at least go get a part-time and then come do this out as a side little situation. But if it's not working, you do need to change tactics.
Absolutely. Well, any last words? Anything you want to say? This is your time. If you want to plug your channel, you know, I was going to do that for you anyway, but
I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on here. And I just do hope that, like I say, I just hope when people watch these videos, just look at it as an outline, a syllabus, when people are giving you your tips, and just think about why you're really doing this, and just keep your head on straight. You should be doing just fine.
Well, I'll do it for him because he's being humble. Go watch his channel at GigLife. He has amazing content. He is one of my biggest inspirations. I'm honored to do this with him because when I first started, he was one of the first people that I watched. I love the entertainment side he brought to it, just to kind of help me get through my day. So he helped me a lot, and he doesn't know that. I watched him from like several different channels. So yeah, so I've been watching you before I even had content of my own. From when you first started, you were literally like one of the first people I watched. So again, this is a huge honor for me. It's almost like I'm meeting a local celebrity, you know what I mean? But go check him out. Please go check out the art box too. I'm also subscribed over there. Great artwork. I showed it to my daughter. She loves it. She is so into it because she's an artist. So nice. Please go check it out. He's got a lot of stuff going on. He's got Redbubble too. So if you got gig merch you want to get, go over there. He's got everything you need. But again, man, I appreciate you for stopping by, man. Really do. It was great, man. But I know you're busy and you got a lot going on. I could talk to you for hours, but we're not going to do that. Maybe another time. So that's it, man. I'm done. Thank you.
And let me know if you ever need me to come back.
All right. We'll do, man. We'll do. Have a good one, man.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right.